Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. I wanted to get on here. I'm getting ready to fly out. My flight's been delayed by a couple of hours, so I thought I'd on here and go over the forecast, which I haven't given you since last year, on a few things. It's a fairly quiet week this week. We have Mars that's moved into Sagittarius on the 3rd, and Mars is the planet of action. And it's when fire's in fire, it would make sense that we're on the brink of war. Mars is the lord of war, planet of war. So Mars has entered Sagittarius on the 3rd. And we do have a lunar eclipse coming on January 10th. This is a full moon, and it's going to be in Cancer, I believe. Let me double check that. Bear with me. I'm very out of sorts the last couple of weeks. So I haven't been posting a whole lot of forecasts. I haven't been doing any readings, but let me check something for you guys before I open my big fat mouth. Yep, lunar eclipse is on Friday, and it is a full moon. It is in Cancer. So we also are going to have some days of caution coming up, and that will be around the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th of this month. There is days of caution, and this is where beginnings and endings start. We could have the beginning of a war. We could have the ending of something. This not just at the world at large, but in your own personal life. This has to do with the United States. It's not looking good out there, folks. Okay. If you get the opportunity, go back to one of my old videos from December 18th of 2018, where I did the 2019 predictions. And listen to it and see what I had said. And one of the things I had said in those predictions was that one of the worst months is going to be January of 2020. Okay, you can go back and listen to it and hear what I said back in December of 2018. And I'm not really a person that does any kind of predictions. I really don't like doing that. I save that for others that like to do that. I'm more of a soul worker, meaning I specialize more on the individual to help them. But there are certain predictions that are coming true, and it's not me. It's written in the stars. So it's my to see the stars and what the stars are reading and providing you with the information. But I had said that January of 2020 would be one of the worst months for the world at large. Look at Australia. Look at us on the brink of war. And now I just read that China, Russia, and Iran are all getting ready to do military training in the Persian Gulf together. That isn't good. We may have our money is spent mostly on military, and we may have the most elite military in the world. I'm trying to choose my words very wisely here because I'm not coming from a political realm. I'm coming from a more spiritual realm. But I do know this: conservative, liberal. They're polarities. You can't have one without the other. Night and day, black and white, moon, sun. They're polarities. Makes sense. You will never get rid of one. It's just the way it is. There's always those two factions are always going to be there. Okay. And for good reason, because if we lived in a world that was completely conservative, it would be awful. If we lived in a world that was completely liberal, it would be awful. There has to be a balance. I don't know if that makes any sense to some of the newcomers that have joined my channel, but I'm trying to explain it to you in astrological and spiritual terms more than anything political or worldly. But this is going to be a very bad month. And right after the full moon, it's going to get even worse. It's not going to get better. Let's talk about the predictions for 2020. That's pretty much my forecast for this week. Is I will post your forecast by house and sign sometime on Wednesday or Thursday. I'll be back well before then. But as for this week, everything is fairly mellow. Like I said, the only major planet change is Mars moving into Sagittarius. And other than that, everything looks pretty darn good, except for the days of caution, which I gave you for the, what did I say, the 9th, 10th, 11th? There's a window there. I'd say the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th. I'm going to give one extra day here because the energy is so intense, okay? Anytime you have a full moon eclipse, there is always going to be an earthquake somewhere, okay? Mother Earth will stretch herself. The moon, the tide, it makes perfect sense. So just be careful out there, everyone. And I have had a couple of people message me about their relatives being deployed, and my prayers are with them, that they be safe. I hope that there's some political leader or world leader out there that how do I say this, has a little more tact and a little more discipline in his words, and that can bring about a little more peace at this time. But it's not going to be our president. It's got to be someone in his cabinet, something. He can't continue to keep going rogue like this. I know a lot of you out there think it's great and it's this and it's that, but it's not, okay? He's screwing this country. He's screwing the people. And then it's the young people, the ones that are going to fight, are the ones that are getting hurt. I come from a long line of military men, so I guess I have a little thing with draft dodgers. It's just me. My father served in the Army. I had a grandfather who served in the Army. I have an uncle who served in the Navy. I have a godfather who served in the Marines. So men in my family have served, and I also have a cousin who served in the Air Force, and she's one of my female relatives who joined the military. So to say that the Johnstons and the Sharettas don't have a long line of military in their family is an understatement. So to those families that are experiencing a deployment, my prayers are with you. All right, predictions for 2020. I didn't write any of this out. This is just coming from the top of my head, and I am battling a really bad head cold today, so bear with me. Between us being on the brink of war, my head cold, and other issues, I'm not doing too well, but I'm getting through it. I'm going to get through it. Predictions for 2020. Well, we're still in Cancer, Capricorn, Dragon axis, and we're there until May 5th of 2020. And with that being said, obviously you could see what's happening at the world at large. Anytime you have a tail in Capricorn, it's about government. It's about military in some way. It's about abrupt changes. I do feel something bad is getting ready to happen around the 10th when that full moon hits with the world at large. I'm concerned about that. So I think we should all just send some good energy, peace, peaceful thoughts, because in the end, I know war is money, but in the end, suffer. You and I. It's not the president or his family that suffer. It's the common folk that suffer. So just keep America in your prayers. And I know that might be hard to do for some nations because we are hated and despised. But please remember, it's not us, it's our government. Predictions for 2020, like I said, we're in the last breath of this dragon's energy, and then it moves into a Gemini Sagittarius energy, which concerns me a little bit more right now. Let's jump to May 5th, 2020. Like I said, this is going to be the worst month, but also December of 2020, June of 2020, you're going to see significant things happening in the world at large. I'm trying to figure out, should I start with the negative or should I start with the positive? So I think I'm going to start with the negative and end on a good note. So Dragon Tail going into Sagittarius. Please remember that Sagittarius rules the animal world, animals. And you're getting a precursor to what you're seeing in Australia with over almost a billion, half a billion animals being destroyed. Okay, that's heartbreaking for an animal lover. That's going to come to California too, come this summer. Okay. The countries that will be in the most danger and will be in the news a lot with this next dragon are going to be places like New York City, Los Angeles, Australia, South America, California, because California is a Sagittarian state. It was erected in December of 1850. It became a state. I think we bought it from Mexico back then. So it is a Sagittarian nation. And one day when I have a little time, which I'm going to have a lot more time coming up soon. I'm going to do a show on astrogeography and how every part of the world is affected by a certain energy and a certain sign and a certain placement. But the countries that are going to feel this are Australia, the South America, California, parts of Arizona. What else can I say? What other countries? Big cities that, Gemini rules big cities. So Gemini rules places like New York City, Tokyo, hustle and bustle, moving and shaking, going on, lots of commotion. Any kind of big city is Gemini energy. Very active, very curious, very busy. Now, going back to Sagittarius, remember Sagittarius doesn't just rule the animal world, it rules the indigenous world as well and the Indian world. So any of you who have a dragon's tail in Sagittarius, you once lived a life as a native somewhere. This also falls on our president, who has a dragon's tail in Sagittarius that is going to be affecting his 7th house of marriage, contracts, foreigners, foreign lands. You guys may think he's a badass now and are darn proud of him, but the tides are changing. And not only is he going to get a divorce in the next 3 years, he has the potential, because he has a dragon's head in Gemini, to get reelected. Okay, the dragon's head is going to be sitting on Gemini. He's a Gemini. I'm not going to say he is going to get reelected, because I have to go and look at all the other candidates' stars before I even make that accusation or assumption, or even prediction, whatever you want to call it. I have to go and look at the other candidates. But I got to let it dwindle down. I just don't have the time. But he does have the stars to get reelected that are in his favor. Because the soul's purpose, it's right on him. But I do know that his marriage is going to come to an end. That woman is just biding her time until I think she'll be very disappointed if he does get reelected, because she wants out of this marriage. And her stars are actually quite lovely. I know I'm probably going to freak out a lot of my liberals, but she's actually a lovely soul, very gentle and kind human being. Um, stars don't lie, so you can get mad at me all you want, but our first lady is a very kind and caring soul. Completely the opposite of her husband. Anyway, also with Sagittarius, let's go back to Sagittarius because I'm going to give you the bad before I give you the good. Besides ruling the indigenous world and Native Americans, and more, you're going to see an uprising of our Native brothers trying to protect this planet in the next 2 years coming until about January 19th of 2022. This energy is going to be in effect. So we're in it for the long haul. But Sagittarius also rules the codification of thought, religion, and laws. And religion is dying. It's coming to an end. People don't believe it as much as they used to. Some people are becoming enlightened and others are falling farther down that spiral. Instead of swimming up, they're swimming down. You never swim downstream. You're going to see a lot of changes in the realm of religion and law. There might even be taxes coming for religion in the next 2 to 3 years. The animal kingdom is going to see more chaos and more heartache. And what you're seeing in Australia is going to happen in California and even in Oregon. Remember, they're having Australia's having their summer right now. So, June, July, we're going to be in the thick of it too. And it's going to be a rough fire season for the state of California and parts of Arizona as well. But this is also going to take a hit on the codification of thought. And people aren't going to believe what the good book says anymore, because the good book wasn't written by God. It was written by prophets. Okay. I'm sorry if that offends you, but I'm not here to mince words. Okay. All 3 books, the Torah, the Quran, the Bible, all written by prophets, all written to control and put fear into you. Okay. How do I say, what more can I say about that? There'll be some that I get offended with, and I'll probably lose listeners and followers, and that's fine. I'm not here to be for the weak, the faint at heart, or the easily programmed. If you're easily programmed and you feed into fear, then this is not the show for you. Okay. And then you've got your conspiracy theorists. There'll be more of that coming out too. And I'm all for a good conspiracy theory, but some of them are complete bullshit. And it's created by ignorant men to spread fear into people, because that fearful people are very controlling. Okay. Fearful people are incredibly controlling. They can be controlled and manipulated. That's why I'm an old goat, you see. And if you want to be a sheep, you go right ahead. Us goats, we've got a work to do. So let's see, what else can I say about the dragon's tail being in Sagittarius? I'll do a better prediction one when I get back from my trip, but religion will take a big shift. There'll be changes in different laws coming in the next 2-3 years. Anyone who is born with a sun, moon, rising, dragon head or tail in Sagittarius is going to feel this shift and immensely. And unfortunately, our president is one of them. United States of America, this energy is going to be riding right on its 6th house of health and service to the world. The tail is going to be sitting there. So let's start with the United States' service to the world. We stand alone, and we're going to feel that next 2 or 3 years. We won't have too many allies. The health of this nation is on the brink of civil war because both the left and the right have infiltrated fear through the media. I do blame Alex Jones as well. He's a moron. And if you're a follower of him, you're just as big of an asshat as he is, because he's a fearful little man who wants to have fearful little friends and make you be very fearful of things. And it's ridiculous and it's absurd. But there will be those people that will fall into that fear mongering. And you're playing right into their hand with that. Do not feed into fear. Follow the stars, know the red lights, know the green lights, and you'll get through this. I guarantee you. I will let you know that if you want to know more about the method of astrology I practice, go and look up the Cosmic Code with Dr. Tori. He was my teacher. He can explain a little more about things. He talks more about the reptilian agenda and things like that. And as to where I'm more of magic and spirituality. But for someone who has been abducted 5+ times, and I don't think it's over because he has Gemini energy. So I think Dr. Tori's due for another abduction soon, because people with a dragon's head or tail in Gemini life and things happen to them in 2s, 4s, and 6s. Myself included, I have a hidden dragon head in Gemini and might have a tail in Sagittarius. What worries me the most, though, is our president has a tail and a moon sitting in his 7th house, which could be detrimental to this country because everything our president does, we feed off of his karmic retribution and downfall. So if there's something bad happening to him karmically, we're going to feel that as a nation. So do keep the animal kingdom in your prayers and keep the indigenous people of the world, both Aboriginal, Native, to any country in your prayers. They're going to be fighting the good fight for this world and the world at large, and the animal kingdom, because it's the animal kingdom that's going to get hit the most. So if you're an animal lover, get a box of tissues, because it's not going to be pretty. And I'm saying that with tears in my eyes. All right, Dragon's Head in Gemini. Let's talk about something a little more positive, because I'm done talking about Sagittarius Dragon Tail. Just know this, that religion will go out. It's not going to go out like a lamb. It's going to try and go out like a lion. One more thing about Sagittarius is this energy is also on our Pope, the Pope. He is a Sagittarius. So that, like I said, he might die in the next 3 years. This might be the beginning of the end for the Catholic Church as well. He is the Black Pope. Remember the Jesuit priest, they predict he's the last pope, but this very well could be the last pope. And I think this bombing of Iran and this general is a precursor to things to come in a religious war that's coming. What I'm more concerned about right now is the three countries aligning together in an alliance against us. I don't care how expensive our military is. This country is getting ready to be humbled and brought to its knees. You can scoff and you can laugh at me all you want. Give it 3 years and you'll see what I mean. Okay, Gemini. There's going to be very, very positive changes coming in the realm of Gemini. If you're born with a Gemini dragon's head, the sun sign of Gemini, a sun, a moon, an ascending dragon head or tail, you will feel this, and this energy will bless you very much if you play your cards right. Gemini rules the postal service, so there'll be more advancements in communication and technology and transportation. This is the next couple of years, where you might see cars that are so advanced. It's going to bring new ways of traveling. Not necessarily space travel, but like I said, this energy rules transportation. So something new in the realm of transportation is coming. Post office. This also rules big cities. Los Angeles, New York City is Gemini. I'm sure there's other countries out there that are Gemini ruled. I just can't think of them at the moment. And maybe that's because I'm kind of battling a head cold. But big changes in the realm of communication, technology, broadcasting, okay? Gemini rules the radio world. So does Aquarius, but Gemini especially rules the radio world because it's communication, it's broadcasting. Gemini is also duality, okay? And this energy is, let's look at the United States, born in July, August, September, October, November, December. So the dragon's energy for the United States is going to be right on its subconscious. And I'm hoping for the better in this because Gemini is immutable. It's muted. It's a mutable sign, so it goes with the flow. It kind of, it goes with the flow. It's not fixed. I'd be a little more concerned if this was in a fixed sign of stubbornness, but it's not. So it goes with the flow of things, and it's open to suggestion and the power of communication and reasoning and intellect. And I'm hoping with that energy moving through the 12th house of the United States subconscious, something is going to have to click with the American people somewhere where we sit here and we say, okay, this is ridiculous. We're going back to 1860, the 1860s with a civil war. I mean, because that's what I see coming is a civil war. I'm hoping with this next dragon shift that spiritual people of this world, whether you want to call them light workers, dark workers. I don't really like the term light worker because I actually work with the darkness so much that I'm both. I'm not really a light worker. I think that's such a fabricated thing to say. I'm a light worker because I know a lot of light workers that are real assholes. There's nothing light about them. Trust me. Lots of advancements are going to come, but I'm hoping that the warriors of this country are going to be able to help others see the light and shift the mindset into a more advanced thought process. That might not happen, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of going into this blindly. I have no notes. I didn't go in and check any of my software. I'm pretty much going on what I have in the top of my head with Gemini. And Gemini also rules publication. Things are going to change in the realm of how you read your media and how you process your news and stuff like that. Things are going to change in that realm for the better. For the better. Positive changes in the realm of the bird world and flight. What else can I say about Gemini? I think I've covered it. I think I've covered just about everything I can on Gemini. Couple of months, like I said, that are going to be caution will be, of course, this month, January 2020, June 2020, and December 2020. If you think Trump's having a bad December now, wait till next December when the tail's right on him. Oy, scary, scary, scary. Anyway, wish I had a little more positive news, but remember that there's strength in numbers, and the power of positive thinking will always do better than the power of people who inflict fear into others and make them scared. Don't feed into that. The world isn't coming to an end. We might as a species, but the world will go on. Planet will survive. Okay. It's in our nature to make ourselves extinct. That's how man operates. And you just got to keep marching on. That's all I can do is take it one day at a time. But I am going to say this on my last note here. There's a reason I haven't been on here in a while, and I haven't posted any forecasts. And I'm having a lot of changes going on in my life, and I'm getting the hell out of California because I know it's coming. Please, my Californians, be careful. I don't see the summer being too good for this state, and I'm worried, very, very worried. With that being said, I want to wish everyone a very, very happy New Year. Follow the stars, know the red lights, know the green lights, and you will be okay. I wish I had a little more positive news, but in light of what's going on in the world, it's a little hard to be positive right now. One more thing, the economy is getting ready to crash, and it's getting ready to crash hard. So if you are one of those people who invested in gold, silver, and crypto, you'll be fine. My crypto's doing fine, especially since the stock market crashed. For those of you who have invested in stocks, not good. The economy is going to crash sometime this month, I think. But if you are invested, it's time to get out. And I say that almost every time I come on here because I want people to save their money, not lose their money. But I want everyone to also know that the energies that are coming, like I said, we have days of caution for the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th of January. We have a lunar eclipse in Cancer. So anytime we're dealing with lunar eclipses, we are dealing with internal, emotional changes within ourselves, within our environment. This is also within the planet Earth. Mother Earth will stretch herself. She will come alive through a volcano, tornado, earthquake, somewhere globally. I've always said that California will have a big major earthquake, and it'll either be in a Uranic phase or a Moonic phase. One of the two. And those of you that live in California, I would get the hell out. Anyway, have a good one. I got to go catch a flight. I'll talk to you guys soon. Happy New Year, and see you soon. Peace.